What is going on, everybody? Luke here. In today's video, it's going to be very different to the Amazon side of things. That's because next week, either Tuesday or Wednesday, we will be confirming that I have a NFT webinar. Not that I'm even an expert, of course not. I'm joined by two successful NFT flippers, or buyers and sellers and holders, and we will basically be going over how to make some money in NFTs. And I'm just going to go and give you some actual physical proof of what I've been doing. And I've been in this program for 1 month, so it's not like I know everything. I know, compared to what a lot of them know, very little. But I'm just going to give you an overview of, different types of profits I've made. As in, I'm going to show you some examples. I'm going to show you some, basically everything. Because a lot of people are saying, but why do you want to do it? What is this? It's based around crypto and all that. Yes, it is. Of course, it is. It is built on the blockchain. This is how it works. But I just want to show you a little bit more evidence to support the reason that I'm doing this webinar, because I've never really done a webinar outside of the Amazon space before at all in the last 5 years since I had the channel. So that in my, I hope it shows that that's pretty much solid conviction that I'm doing it for a reason, because there's been so many potential things I could have done over the years, and it's only now that I've decided that because I'm actually doing it myself, again, like I normally say, unless I'm doing it myself, I'm never going to advertise it or even talk about it. But I am doing it myself, and within my first month I've made back what I paid for the course, and you get a community built around that as well, and a bit more. So I think I've made like $4,500, whatever that conversion is into pounds. And it's around just over around an ethereum. So an ethereum's about, at the moment, $4,150 or something like that. It changes. It's something like that. And I've basically done it in the first month. Of course, my first month for me is, like I treat Amazon, is break even, cover your expenses, and I play it very similar. So I've learned a lot in that first month. I've broken even. I paid back what I paid to join, and so now I'm going to be creating profits with no sort of expense that I've paid out for anything, if you get what I'm trying to say. Similar with Amazon. So I'm just going to go over real quick. I don't want to waste anyone's time and to have this extremely long, because maybe a lot of people aren't even interested in this, so I don't want to waste too much time. Just going to jump right into it. So here you can see this is an NFT I bought yesterday, I believe, and the great thing about the blockchain is you can actually see the transaction history. You can visibly see every transaction, the wallets, the people, everything. You can even go into here and look through further details of like where it's been, where it's going, and so it's it's like transparent. You can go and follow other people. You could literally copy trade if you really wanted. Obviously, it's not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, but you could. You can go and see the big successful people who are doing this and just monitor what they are doing behind the scenes, because it's all on a distributed ledger, where you're able to basically figure out exactly what's going on in the space against every single asset traded. So this is a groupie. Now, we're not going to go into the specifics of what this is, why I paid what I paid for it, why I bought it, all that kind of thing. I'm just giving you the profitable proof that it's there. And a lot of these suggestions and tips and everything, what people are currently buying and selling and all that, are all within this community. So if I had to go away and do it myself and so let's say I start off in the beginning and I was researching everything myself, I might take 3 months, at least 1 solid month to 3 months, to feel confident in what I'm doing. Yeah, because I bought this 17 hours ago for 0.495 ethereum. So if we go and actually see what that's worth, I paid £1,480, 57p for this thing. That's as of right now's price, by the way. So obviously that will, because the price obviously changes, you've got to obviously see what it was worth then and now and that kind of thing. And you might think, well, why the hell am I buying that? Jesus, like, are you insane? Yeah, most people would think that. But it's not really what this necessarily is. It's what it represents. So if you saw my other video about NFTs, talking about Gary V and his NFT, you'll understand what I mean. Again, I'm not going to go into that because it would just be like a 3-hour video, but profitable wise, I have not sold this. So, and I'm not really intending to sell this right now, but I could. So what I want to show you is that I paid 0.495 and 17 hours ago. If you go on to the actual page, this is a marketplace, OpenSea, and I click buy now, and obviously I list low to high, the cheapest is 0.57. So if you just do some quick math on that, it's now worth the cheapest is 0.57. Of course, you can see that the prices just go up and up and up as you know, if that gets purchased, obviously then that's the cheapest, so on. And I paid 17 hours ago 495, and the profit, not that it's crazy, of course, it's not like, you know, you have to make $1 million in one transaction, is this much. So I made about 200. If I sold it today, that's the amount of profit that's in that transaction right now. Now, you know, right now I only bought it yesterday. I'm not particularly worried about selling it now. Of course, you could decide to sell it now. It's just obviously whatever your strategy is, just like Amazon. Like with Amazon, I do volume. So if I've got more capital involved with doing NFTs, you can take smaller profits because you have more of them, and then that cumulative small profits will add up. Again, if you have less capital, you have to be a little bit more prepared to wait, to be patient, and not necessarily look for those small gains. Yes, you can still do that. Of course, that means the momentum is going to take longer to actually build up capital. Yeah, it's just very similar to Amazon. That's how I am, because in theory, I am buying and selling. I might be holding things for the long term, like you might hold Lego. Like I got some Lego back from Amazon from like 2 years ago, and it's like obviously what's the word? Discontinued. And I'm the price is like 130 quid that I've left it at. I don't actually know what I bought it for because it was like 4 years ago. And even though I could sell it probably for 99.99, I know Q4 is coming up. I'm holding on to that. See, and so that, yes, obviously I do volume and I want to get small margins on smaller margins and like double my money. But again, there are circumstances where I see the potential down the line where I'm willing to hold. Very similar attitude that you would have to crypto. So that is just an example of one I picked up yesterday on the 21st of the 10th, and it's now the 22nd of the 10th. And it doesn't mean that that price will obviously stay here. It could go down, it could go up. You know, you can do very simple things like go and check the activity, how many people are buying and selling. You can see here, you know, and you can obviously do your research. You can look at the charts and look where, you know, you can look at the previous highs, the previous lows. This is the yearly chart. You can see the high was about 2 ETH on average. That is average. It's not the lowest price. So you've got to bear that in mind as well. And of course, you can sort of read it. And so in my mind, I'm looking down here. This is where we are now. And it's relatively low compared to the highs. You don't want to really be buying on that high. Not that it, you know, just like anything, you don't know if it will continue. It could go up, down, and then go back up. But I'm trying to use, you know, my best experience, well, limited experience after 1 month. Luckily, the community helps you with everything. So it's like the community is there until you want to start taking responsibility more and more and more over time for your own decisions. Obviously, you don't want to be long term. You don't want to be relying necessarily on anyone else. But in the short term, you need to get traction, build experience, build confidence, and so you need that at the beginning. Just like with Amazon sellers, I do coaching. They want me to be there to reassure them and confirm everything they are doing, and eventually they can be led off into the wild and they can go and do their own thing. Very similar. So, you know, for example, it's down here. You know, I might be looking to sell at 1 ETH and make half an ethereum, whatever the strategy is. There might not be any strategy right now because there might be something that I want to buy in the future that comes up. You know, like Q4's coming. You know, you want to be flipping into maybe a lot of consumable products, confectionery, and you're looking at this stuff that maybe won't be that great, and you're looking to maybe just get rid of it in some way, maybe bring the price down, make a little bit less profit, but get that cash flow available to then invest into Q4 specific products, very similar to this. And so that is just something that I would look at in making the decision. So I'm going to go over just 3 other examples for you. So these are the Ethereum profits I've made, and these are actually slightly different examples. So the first one, I minted this. It kind of mint means that you get it at the very beginning. This is OpenSea's a secondary market, so that's why you can see all the different buying and selling going on here. And you can see I actually sold it for that much. And the profit I made was this, because I've got like a spreadsheet where I just sort of track it all. And again, it might not be anything crazy. £33, $50 or whatever, $45. But again, I'm not what I don't hold just a couple of NFTs. I have different levels. I have ones that are a bit more expensive, ones that are mid-tier, and ones that are cheap. And so, you know, it just depends on what your game plan is. And like with Amazon, I like to get a bit of traction early, confidence building, get some profits in, and about, you know, as well as this, because I did this about a month ago, Ethereum's gone up, so this will change as well. So obviously at the time, if you think about it, yes, I made that much profit, but the Ethereum, that would have been at the time. So the amount that I actually paid would have been less than what it's hard to explain. But because Ethereum's gone up, obviously, and it's traded in Ethereum, you're holding Ethereum, you also get a gain on the upside of Ethereum. And currently, looking at the charts, not that you really want to potentially see all this because it's not that informative. You know, usually everything follows Bitcoin. Bitcoin on the daily closed up here at like 65 something, and if you look back here, which was the previous, when everything was going crazy and everything, all the crypto groups were going crazy, it basically closed higher. And then there's something called CME, which is like a bit more professional. It debuted at the high of 2017-18 bull run. It closed a weekly higher time frame, is more conviction, more. Here it closed at, where does it say close? 62,075. Here it closed 61,980. Basically this bit here. Can you see this close thing? Highlight over it. It says 61,980. Here is 62,075. So it's confirmed. Not that it couldn't pull back, consolidate. Just like the previous high, well, mini high here. Well, there wasn't really much of a consolidation, to be fair, on that. And it only debuted literally the peak of the previous run, so you can't. There isn't a lot of history to do it, but you can go and you could probably go and do it here. You can see there's a small consolidation here at the previous high. There was like one. It hit it in that week. That's a weekly, but it took. So that was 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 week, and then on the 5th week it then went up. Very similar to this. We are, you know, basically there, but it's having a little bit of resistance because it's consolidating. So maybe we have a bit of sideways actions and a little bit maybe down and then up. Anyway, that's just some extra side information that I use as a direction of ETH related to NFTs, because obviously you want to have both, not only getting profit from your NFT, but you want that profit to then be worth more later. So on to the next example, and I'll try to be quicker because I know that's taking, my videos end up being about half a year long. These Washingtons. Now you might think, what on earth is this? And it was, yeah, exactly. But you want to see, if you go onto this mint, I'll actually show you how much I paid for this thing. $1.24. Now actually the gas fuels, the problem is that when you get something so cheap, you still got to pay to get that transaction through. So that ends up being way higher than that. So in a lot of cases, cheaper products aren't really that great, but in this instance, because you can go and check the secondary market while you're minting, which is something I totally don't want to go into right now. It's confusing as AF, basically. I made profits, and you might think, what the hell? But, you know, I made £10, £11. But again, the original mint, well, the total cost here, I mean, that's actually what I paid. See, you can kind of see that I actually paid that and actually paid that at the time, but the value now would be that. So I actually paid this $13. I paid about 10 quid. And how much did I make in profit? 10 quid. See? So you don't necessarily have to make crazy gains. Now, I don't want to go into this one. And I've made lots of smaller profitable products, Amazon stuff. Profitable trades. I just obviously don't want to go in forever because I've got a long list of random bits. But here, this is the one that I posted on my group the other day, just to give you an example. This is something I bought over a month ago. 0.9. You can see so that's me. And I sold it for 1.45 like 22nd of September there. I bought it on 21st, sold on 22nd. And the profit on that, this was like my biggest profitable trade in one go. Obviously, the accumulative amount of lots of small still adds up, and so it's not necessarily one strategy or not another. But that was like £1,280 profit in a day, and that's including fees and stuff. So like, where I showed you here, there was like these, but that is including all that, because obviously you want to find out your realized profits rather than pretend you've made more than you have, like with Amazon. Sometimes people think they don't pay certain fees, but anyway, and that is just me giving you some proof and some context, hopefully, because the webinar will be coming on Tuesday or Wednesday. We just need to confirm the day, and even if you don't want to pay to join because it's too expensive, you just like, I'm never buying some people, I'm never buying a course in my life, which is cool. Like you can learn this, just like with Amazon, you can learn it. But the problem is sometimes it's like you haven't got time. Like with me, the way I see it is that if you haven't got a lot of money, you're beginning of Amazon and all that kind of thing, don't worry about any of this. Just keep it on the horizon, be aware of it. It's always good to know something than not know it. Maybe just join the webinar because it's interesting, because I find it interesting. If it's not interesting to you, don't watch the webinar. It's very simple. But for me, it's really interesting, like the future of tech and blockchain and all that kind of thing, like gaming, because there's games that are based on that. Like like with EA Sports, they have in-game tokens. Fortnite, you can buy wearables. It costs, you can get you can open a pack and get skins, but you don't own those. In this, as in the NFT gaming, you own that digital asset and you can trade it and sell it on later and all that kind of thing. That would probably be where the future goes with gaming, because it gives you a bit more reason to want to be buying something. Basically, it gives you that extra layer. And then how does someone like EA get profit? They get a commission. They get like a royalty. So it's in everyone's best interest to get the good stuff, because if it goes up in value, because there's only one in the world or something, and Fortnite, I'd say it wasn't big and it came big, and someone's like, I really want that because that's like prestige, I really want that. Obviously, if it sells for more money, EA get more royalties, and you can have and that's kind of the basis behind it. It's putting a bit more power into the players' hands, because that's a whole other video as well, but I'm just giving you an overview. So this is obviously more art based, but there are gaming, there's music, there's utility, there's like events. You own it. An entrepreneur has it. You own like a ticket. It's an NFT, but it's a ticket, and it gets you access to like members only Discord, which is basically like a members only Facebook. Like when you join a membership for something, you get access to stuff, websites, courses, whatever it is. So there's different aspects of MSCs, but I'm just giving you the profitable side of things, just giving you some evidence for 1 month of action. And of course, at the beginning, I knew nothing. Well, I knew what NFTs was, and I knew what crypto was, but I didn't know anything about how to do any of it. And that's what the community did. And you can basically just join in with the community. Like there was something called Degenerate Parts, whatever it was called. And one of the guys was like, this is a great project. I'm going to get 2. A lot of people got in at 0.5 ETH or 0.55 ETH, something around that, which you might think is a lot. So, for a lot of people, they might not want to be playing that game, but it's good to watch as well, learn and watch, see it sort of roll out as time goes on. You want to see the evidence before you sometimes buy. And then at the moment, it's about 0.75, and 2 days ago it was at 0.95. So you could have made like 0.4 ETH, which is this much. Oh, kind of like there. On like a 2-day hold, and a lot of people bought 2, so you could have done that twice if you bought 2. Obviously, it costs more ETH, so fair enough. You haven't got the cash flow, but you don't have to start with any of that. There's plenty of stuff that's 0.1, that kind of thing, or even a bit less. There is no right price. But yeah, I'm going to wrap the video up. Any comments, any questions, let me know. There's going to be a webinar on it. I would say if you're interested in everything crypto and NFTs and you're just getting, oh, that's interesting, just watch it. You don't have to buy anything. I went in, so I bought it and I went in to that webinar about a month ago, and I was like, I wouldn't pay like anything. I don't know what I thought. I just went into it because I was curious. I was like, oh, I like it. I like the space. Watched it, and the cogs started turning. I started to link things up that I already sort of had understanding. I use Amazon knowledge, and I was like, right, so I did that with Amazon, so why couldn't I do it with this? And as I was saying before, if you haven't got the cash flow and you're just starting with Amazon, don't do this. Be aware of it and just see what happens, maybe learn, go, oh, you know what, that was an opportunity, but I didn't take advantage of it. I'm focused on the Amazon. Beautiful, that's great. But for me, like let's say this time last year, because obviously now I'm doing it, but this time last year, I'm making some good profits. I'm already prepared for Q4. I've got stock ready, and I know that like every Q4 is great, and I'm like, yeah, let's go. I'm like, I don't want to spend the rest of my Q4 like from now learning it, because Q4's here. I need to focus on that. I know I'm going to make some decent profits. I don't know exactly how much, but I know I'm going to make, you always have a good rough understanding, because you can use previous years' profit and extrapolate that with predictions and forecasts, and maybe you've got different levels of forecasting, like worst case, and you can relatively work out, are you going to be making 5 grand or 50 grand, as in you will have some, you shouldn't be that far away from knowing how, whatever your plan is. If you're doing 100 grand a month, you're probably going to be doing 100 grand a month for the next 3 months at least, but probably 300 grand in December, maybe 200 grand, you have an understanding. And I'll be like, I'm willing to pay that to add a layer of extra income potentially for what I'm doing, because as an entrepreneur, you never know if a business is going to disappear overnight, like with Amazon and suspension. So with me, I'm trying to layer as many things as I can together so that I'm protected, because any one thing can fail and it's not the end of the world. I haven't just got Amazon. If that goes, I have to get a job, and then I've got to sell like 500 Bisto sauces as well, and then another 500 of these other things, and like 1,000. And not only that, I've got to do all that legwork behind the scenes. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. Any questions or whatever, let me know. I will post about when the actual webinar will be. Again, I would say just watch it. I actually enjoyed the webinar itself. It had lots of information, and you can actually take that information, you go away and learn it yourself if that is something you want to do, because it can be done. You just have to obviously be careful. Like with Amazon, there's a lot of information out there on YouTube. You've got to make sure you don't get conflicting information, because everyone does slightly different styles, so you don't want to start mixing that, and that can cause problems. It might not for you if you're able to distinguish different strategies and different plans that you might have in mind for your business. But if you're newer, it is sometimes a little bit overwhelming and a lot of people say there's conflicting information. So again, if you're going to go and do NFT research yourself, you don't want that to happen, because you may end up buying something that is not worth it, or you end up getting burned. Basically, you just do something wrong. You haven't got all that kind of like behind the scenes knowledge up front. Like there's a course and it tells you what not to do. Don't do this. Don't do this. Like don't get scammed. Don't all these things. And it's like a lot of people going into it and not having that, they may find that something happens and they're like, oh no, but that's what you get. That's the risk you kind of take. And there's no right answer. Free is great for nearly everyone, but just like people that pay me for coaching, they want to fast track. It's no different than coaching. I could say, just go and watch all my YouTube videos and watch them 5 times and learn it all, however many there are. But it's a lot of time. And what if they have questions? What if they did? And so that is the issue. Anyway, gonna leave it there. Hopefully you can't hear my dog snoring. Any questions, let me know. I will probably be posting after this webinar. I probably will not be posting about anything NFTs. Maybe I'll create a group. No idea. Just see how it goes. Just so that it doesn't confuse people with the old Amazon content. But just for now, it will be up. And so yeah, see you guys on the next one. Bye.